Okay, I think I'm live. Yes, I am. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to come on real quick and talk about this thing. I was talking to my mom this morning. My mom lives with my wife and I, and she'll be 91 years old in September 15th. So pretty soon. It's July 30th today, but so September 15th, she's gonna be 91 years old, still in great shape. The only problem she has is, of course, her knees. She's got to deal with that, and she got pneumonia. Oh man, almost 11 years now. She came to live with us. October 5th will be 11 years. She got pneumonia. She was in the hospital for like 7 weeks. Anyway, and she did that to herself by not going to the doctor. It got so bad they had to care flight her to Reno, where my wife and I went to Reno to see her because she was being care flighted there. We went there, ended up staying in the Silver Legacy for 7 weeks because the hospital is right across the street in Reno from, Silver Legacy. We got a really good deal, by the way. It's like $22 a night. They were awesome to us. Thank God I don't gamble because I'll tell you what. We were there for 7 weeks. We spent $11 gambling. If I was a gambler, I would have been in big, big trouble. Anyway, I'm sitting there with my mom this morning. I make her breakfast every morning. And so I'm sitting there and I'm asking her because, in her room, she has all these awards on the wall that she got at work over the years, like best this, best that, employee of the month, employee of the year, all this stuff that she had. And I was talking to her about that because I think I got those same traits, from how I run my business. I'm an overachiever, and just like my mom was. And I was asking her how she did all that, and she was talking to me about the learning difficulties she had, just like I have, being bipolar and dyslexic and ADHD and whatever else they tried to call me when my wife tried to fix me in my 30s and sent me to a psychiatrist. He couldn't fix me. I'm an entrepreneur. Anyway, she said she had learning difficulties, so she had to work a lot harder than her coworkers to do better than them, and she put all this extra effort in, and it was harder for her to learn things, so she had to be repetitive. She had to do it over and over and over. And the reason I'm here today, there's a lot of people that have those same problems. You might look at something and it's like deer in a headlight. Your eyes are wide open. You don't understand it. It's like crazy, especially in the marketing world. The agency that I own, Top Click Joe, when I started marketing in 2001 for my own company, now I marketed before that, but this was on Google, doing Google ads. It was very difficult for me, but I was able to, if I study something several times, I start getting really good at it. And that's kind of what happened. And my mom and I have this same problem. So my mom sleeps 4 or 5 hours a night. So do I. And, and what's weird is we could sleep 4 or 5 hours and wake up like somebody that has gotten like 8 to 12 hours of sleep. And there's actually this thing. I want to show you this. Let me show you this real quick. Let me present my screen. I want to show you, this is a real thing. Let me grab this. Let me share. Let me go here. All right. Do you see this short sleeper syndrome? SSFs. Save our ship, right? So anyway, it is a real thing. If you have short sleeper syndrome, you need less than a person typically needs, like 8, 10, 12 hours. Okay. My wife, she'd sleep 24 hours if I didn't wake her up, I think. Most natural short sleepers get 6 or fewer hours of sleep on most nights. I think on a good night, I sleep 5. I usually sleep 4, and I wake up feeling like great, like I got a full night's sleep. So right here, you can see it's a real deal, and it does not pose any health risks. That's awesome. So I believe, let me stop sharing. Let me go back to us. I believe that the reason I'm able to do so well with marketing for my clients and those kind of things are because, I got really good at marketing because I need less sleep to somebody. Yes, I have to study harder than probably some of these valedictorians and salutatorians and all that. I mean, I got to study harder, and I got to look at it. It's got to be repetitive. I got to see it I like learning from video because I'm a visual learner. But if I watch something several times and I start practicing, I get really, really good at it. So the reason I'm doing this live stream is when I was talking to my mom about all her awards, I was asking her how she got them. She said she had to work much harder than her peers, than the other employees, and she had to look at something over and over and over. I just learned this about my mom recently. She worked for the hospital at Fort Ord in Fort Ord, California, when the Army base was still there. She worked at the hospital in records, and they were just starting to use computers right back then. She had like this weird, and I don't even know what kind of computer it would be because she retired at like 55 and she's almost 91. There must have been something way back then. It's over 30 years, man. Yeah, there would have been computers back then, I guess, like like the big boxes and stuff. Anyway, computers were foreign to her and she didn't know how to use them. So she would go in early before she clocked in and she would learn. She was telling me this story of how she learned this stuff and then got really good at it and would win awards. So I believe that my mom and I have the same SSS where we don't need a lot of sleep. And we have the same learning difficulties where we have to look at something several times, which, it's like anything. Once it's ingrained, we're really good at it. And we understand it inside, outside, right? Upside down, up front, back, side, everything. We understand it. That's how I learn. I do repetitive learning from videos. But the cool thing is most of you are sleeping while I'm learning because I only need like 4 hours sleep. So that's where I learn all this. And then, of course, you all know that I have a lot of employees now. We're nearing our first 100 employees. And I hire experts in every field. So they're the best of the best. And these are the valedictorians and the salutatorians from college. I hire the best of the best. But, that's not me. I'm not able to learn that way. I've never been able to learn that way. I did terrible in school because they didn't know what to do with dyslexic kids or kids that were bipolar. I don't even think they knew what bipolar was back then. And I was in the special class and I finally, dropped out in the 9th grade because I just couldn't do it. So everything I've done is self-taught. When I started my restoration company in business, I didn't go to business school. Everything's self-taught. Business is simple. You answer the phone, show up 10 minutes early, and give them 150%. Of course, there's no such thing as 150%, but you get what I'm saying. And that's business in a box. And then, of course, you hire the best of the best. It's my son trying to call me right now. I'll call him back. But anyway, that's all I got today. I love you, Mom. My mom's awesome. She's, I consider, I'm a lot like her, the same difficulties in learning, the same sleep habits, which is really big, because now I could, if I only sleep 4 hours, look at all the extra time I have to learn. And I'm constantly learning. I'm always watching videos. I'm always trying to learn something. And then when I latch onto something, I'll get a hold of my team, the experts in that area, sort of like, schema. Schema we use as schema markup on the back end of our websites and to get us to rank better for SEO purposes. Google can read schema and all the search engines. I know it, but I'm not like an expert at it. So I get with my team. I just started learning some more about schema, like for authors, because when we do blog posts, I try to get my clients to write their bio, get a picture of them, their authorship, because, EEAT, expertise, experience. You want to make sure you're showing them as an authority. There's the A. So in order to do that, you have a bio for them and you have an authorship and there's schema for that. And so when I was studying about author schema, I got with my team who knows it really well and they explained it further. And now I really get it, right? So sort of like that. So I just wanted to say, I love talking to my mom in the morning. I make her breakfast every morning. She looks forward to it. Let me tell you, this is crazy. My mom eats around 7:30 a.m. So I leave my office, I go home, and I start cooking. She gets an omelet, like oatmeal. She gets prunes. She loves prunes, right, because they help with bowel movements. I'm sorry I said that word. And, I have sausage biscuit, orange juice, coffee. I mean, it's like a 7-course freaking meal every morning. My mom, and she eats it all. I can't even think of eating at 7:30. It's still too early. It's got to be around 11. But there's no problem with her eating, man. She's very healthy at eating. So anyway, thank you all for watching. I just thought I'd talk about this one thing because I found it interesting that, my mom and I are I'm a lot like her with like not needing sleep and having to study harder than a lot of people so I can learn something. And she did the same thing. That's how she got it. Came up from looking at all these awards she got, and she got a lot. She was always getting them. So hard work does pay off, folks. When you really put your nose to the grind and go for it, you can make it. Look, I had a restoration company for 27 years, largest in Southern Colorado. And then we expanded all the way to Fort Collins from Colorado Springs, did the whole Front Range. And now I'm doing that. Well, with our ad agency, we have clients worldwide because everything's online. So I can have clients all over the world. But if you're gonna do something in your business and you want to be better than your competitors, put your nose to the grind, learn it better than anyone else. Just know it like where you can recite it, where you don't have to study it anymore. It's ingrained in your soul. Okay. All right. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye now.